Ramos, 3 hits in the opener Monday. Kept out of the hit column last night. Grounded fair to third. Gino with a long throw. And Pavin able to keep it in front. And Koss stumbled across the bag. He's injured and tagged out. That will end the inning, but Koss is really shaken up down there. He could not get back to the second base bag. Pavin Smith through to Jordan Lawler covering. And we have a collision around the bag. Ooh. Yeah, Lawler was standing there. And Koss, I guess, didn't see him.
Bob Melvin, I'm sure, is going to argue obstruction right there.
And they're going to get together and have a conversation about this. And he's got a legitimate point. Diamondbacks are coming off the field. Koss seems to be okay. Fielders are prohibited from impeding or hindering a runner's path to the base while not in possession of the ball or in the act of fielding the ball. That's the definition of type 1 obstruction. Now Lawler's going over to cover the bag. He's got his back to Koss, and Koss just had nowhere to go.
Yeah. I hate to say it, but I think that's a bad on Jordan Lawler right there. You got to get out of the way. You have to realize what happens on the play. He went to the bag anticipating a force play there from Gino, but Gino instead went across the diamond, and as soon as you see that throw, you've got to get out of the way.
This is a subjective judgment call by the umpires. It is not subject to review.
Well, and the second base umpire today is Edwin Jimenez, who has done the D-backs no favors in this series.
And yeah, I think they're gonna keep this inning going here. Torey Lovullo's coming out to talk to Mark Ripperger. The crew chief is the first base umpire. And I mean, that sure looked like the very definition of obstruction. It cost them not only an out, but an out to end the inning. And the Giants trying to get the potential tying runs on base. And he's getting an explanation now from Ripperger, who will tell Torey what the 4 umpires decided. But Diamondbacks are coming back out from the dugout, back onto the field.
Yeah. Boy, this is a tough one. That's going to put 2 runners on base for Wilmer Flores.
Now there are 2 types of obstruction type 1 and type 2. This looks like a case of type 2 where there's not a play being made on the obstructed runner. The obstruction can happen away from the ball, and that's type 2 obstruction, and that's a judgment call by the umpires, and they can award the bases as they see fit. You let the play progress until its natural conclusion and then impose the penalties that they see fit to nullify the act of obstruction. The ball in the meantime remains in play. Now that ended quickly when Koss was tagged out, but no play was being made on the obstructed runner. This is type 2 obstruction, and the inning is going to continue. And Torey Lovullo has been ejected. Torey Lovullo pointing at all 4 umpires. He's throwing them all out of the game. And he is hot.
Mark Ripperger is pleading his case. Torey, what do you want us to do? That's obstruction. But Torey's making a counterpoint. Now he's been thrown out of the game. Now the umpires with obstruction can award the bases as they see fit. It looks like they put Koss at third base and Ramos at second, which puts the tying run in scoring position here. And the batter is going to be the RBI man, Wilmer Flores.
Bob Melvin, Matt Williams still pleading their case over at third base. I'm not sure exactly what more they can want here.
If the runner is called out advancing to the next base and the play is not close, they can decide that he can get the next base, which appears to what's happened here. Now Jeff Banish is going to take over. I'm not sure what Bob Melvin might be trying to score the run here.
It looks like they sent him back to first and second. I think that's what Mel's arguing.
Yep, they had him they had Koss standing at third. Now he's been moved back to second. Ramos was standing at second. He goes back to first. So that's Melvin's argument. But the umpires had clearly called obstruction, and you can understand why. Lawler was directly in the path of the runner. He was not attempting to field the ball. The play was away from the ball, which is type 2 obstruction. And so here we are. The Giants have the tying runs on base, 2 outs, and Wilmer Flores will be the batter.
Well, if they move those runners to second and third, Bannister might get thrown out.
And here comes Banny to have a little check-in. Wilmer Flores, one of the league leaders in RBIs. Now Banny's got to be careful here. We're going to run out of coaches at this rate. Talking to Nick Marley, the plate umpire. Now this is Mark Ripperger, the crew chief, who's the first base ump.
And you want to make sure you get a plausible explanation from the crew chief, but in the meantime, Ryan Nelson's just standing out there on the mound waiting.
And I'm going to guess that Torey Lovullo did not get what he considered to be a plausible explanation,
because he threw all 4 umpires out of the game. And they're still out there, and he's gone.
You know that old saying about get your money's worth after you've been ejected? That's not true. The longer you stay out there and argue, the more your fine is.
So here we go. Koss is at second. Ramos is at first. Wilmer Flores is the hitter. He's the go-ahead run at home plate. 2 outs in the 8th. And there's ball 1. Obstruction has been called, we're told now. The announcement in the press box, and it's 2-0 on Wilmer. Now you don't want to get the red-hot Jung-Hoo Lee up there at the plate. They scored that a single, and the E4 is attached to Jordan Lawler, so a single for Ramos. Koss at second on the E4. Wilmer pops it up. Fight in the sun, Jose Herrera. And he's got it.
Boy.
So an adventurous 8th inning, highlighted by Torey Lovullo ejecting 3 umpires from the game. You're out of here. You're all out of here. You're out of order. No, you're out of order.